me go, 'cause I don't wanna feel the pain of holding on and keeping strong. So now I'm moving on. I don't wanna feel the same, so love, just let me go. Guess I didn't know it would end this way. One drink too much and I could see your face. Why did I let you go? How could I let you leave? Will I ever see you? And do you think of me? Love, let me go, 'cause I've been holding up for far too long. I've been fighting and keeping strong. Now you just gotta let me go. Time, wash away every feeling that can cause me pain. All these memories I can't escape. Can you let them all wash away? Let it all wash away, 'cause I don't wanna feel the pain. Love, just let me go, 'cause I don't wanna feel the pain of holding on and keeping strong. So now I'm moving on. I don't wanna feel the same, so love, just let me go.
I don't wanna see you, I don't wanna hear you tonight. I don't wanna fight you, you don't wanna know if I feel alright. I don't wanna just forgive you, I just wanna be fine. I've been waiting for a sign to light up, yeah. And your heart is out of sight, I just wanna feel mine. Hey you, I'm gonna be the one for another one. Hey you, maybe then you'll know that I was never one. I don't wanna see you, I don't wanna fear you tonight. You don't wanna know me, you just wanna make sure you're right. I'm gonna be the one for another one. Maybe then you'll know that I was never one. I'm gonna be the one for another one. I don't wanna feel you tonight. Got me. Got me. Can I hear you? Got me. Got me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Melon Patch League. Tonight, you have myself, Mr. Bepic, and the wonderful Gil Thanes calling Empire Esports versus Valkyrie Array. Gil Thanes, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm a little curious to see how Empire does tonight. They took that very hard-fought and unfortunate sweep against Untamed in their first week, and looking to right this ship here, get back to that 500 against Valkyrie Array.
This is a litmus test for Pool D. But before we get to all of that, of course, we have to mention the sponsor of this whole Melon Patch League, Prestige Esports. They put in all the money for this. They are making it happen. So we got to thank them. I mean, Gil and I are super excited. We love bubble scene action like this. And for Prestige to give a ginormous prize pool to this event to make it happen, I mean, it's just beautiful. And of course, Dire Media Solutions producing this whole thing. So now that we have properly thanked everyone that is making this thing happen, Gil, let's talk about this Group D of death we're about to cast.
It's pretty contentious for the most part. I'm looking at the records here. Untamed walked away with that 1-0, and Valkyrie Array was the other one that ended up 1-0 on the day. And you talk about that matchup that happened between Empire and Untamed, and it was just a dominant force in 7. One of the players that they had replaced this offseason who had done extremely well. Buffy had been paired with that Akatsuki matchup for the longest time, making the change with 7 and G-Man, and they looked extremely good on offense. 7 was everywhere on the pitch.
Yeah, I am scared of 7 person, not even playing in Group D. That's a dangerous looking team. And Prestige, who hasn't played yet in this pool, as one team has a bye every week, they should be worried about that Untamed matchup they have coming up, because I think the winner of that, Gil, is going to win the whole group. And in my Melon Patch predictions, I've got Untamed taking that one. So I think with that, Untamed has the potential to go 4-0 here and leave everyone else in the dust. And, well, this is a matchup of teams that I predicted to be in the bottom 3 of this group, with Prestige and Untamed taking the top 2 spots. So this series right here, I think, is a litmus test for both these squads, but especially Empire, who you just talked about got swept by Untamed in their first matchup.
And Valkyrie Array is no slouch either. They took the 4-2 win over Synergy, which is that matchup with Courtney, Kira, and Sway. So definitely some experienced Rocket League players on that side of the pitch. And Exorari is such a good second man for this squad. I've seen him play multiple times throughout the bubble scene. He's rock solid with his decision making, and those are the kind of players I like to focus on. The players that have this great game IQ, the people that have that game sense to just kind of fly around the pitch and make these consistent challenges. And I feel like that has been an area that Valkyrie Array can really kind of exploit this Empire team.
I had the pleasure of casting a Valkyrie Array versus Untamed Esports show match where both teams put money on the line, and it went all 7 games. Valkyrie Array actually came out on top of that one. So VA can win big series when it counts, and beating Synergy on that matchup that was on my stream a couple of nights ago was a huge win for them, because that is a hot battle on the bottom-ish part of this group. And they came out slow. Synergy scored, I think it was 6-1 in game 1, where Courtney was just popping off with beautiful strike after beautiful strike. And they won the first 2 games, and then Valkyrie Array stormed back, won 4 straight, and took the series, Gil. So I'm excited to see what they do against Empire here.
And it's going to be up to Mizu to really get the offense going for this squad. They need to get some consistent offensive pressure early. They struggled against Untamed, kind of breaking out of their own zone. They had great defense in the series. We're just not able to connect to get over that midfield line, and that's what we're going to be looking for early from them, trying to get some consistent strikes, some of that consistent rotation in that they're kind of known for. And this one, a shot from the midfield. Mizu takes it right in front, and Plummet makes it. Mazo with the follow right off the bar again. Crave right back to it, and 3rd time's the charm. And Empire get the first strike.
Well, alrighty then, Empire. Some great and fast pressure on the orange net, capped off by a Crave shot that got past EXO, attempting the in and out. I thought EXO was going to have that. No, the shot was too well placed. Your last man could not make the save. Empire, a phenomenal start here, but we talk about it so often in the MPL. These are best of 7s. A lot can happen from this point forward.
Trying to get it over to Exorari. Far side, Mazo tried to pre-jump. Mizu Last man back. He's going to try and get the touch off the wall. Dangerous ball out in front. Three players up for both sides. And now Crave off to the races. Plum interrupts him as Mazo comes back downfield to demo. Now some space. Mizu trying to go off the wall. Corner, but Xerari cuts that play off. But good pressure early on here from Empire. This is what I wanted to see, Pepe.
Certainly, they have gotten off to a fast start. Valkyrie has been pinned back for the majority of this first minute and then the quarter here, but starting to move forward. That's some beautiful slowing down of the play by Crave, allowing time for his teammate to move up and take a 50, contributing to all this pressure that Empire is mounting. However, Valkyrie is pushing that midfield back on occasion. They can't get out of defense for very long, but it's a start. The fact that they aren't allowing the amount of shots that they did in the first 30 seconds of this game is already a win for VA, and there's finally Snope with one on the board.
And they're liking this rotation where they just kind of fall back and let Valkyrie clear the ball into them. They're so good about getting there as that second man. Mizu looking for the demo out in front. Plum up for it, the 50. It goes to the far side. Xerari right there with Plum, leading the way, trying to get the shot onto the short side. Mizu, great hustle to get back. Mazo, round one. The sidewall, Crave back up. He's looking for the centering pass. He's got one in mid. Xerari just going to doink that one up the wall. Great defensive presence is Xerari. Like I talked about, he's one of these very cerebral players that will get you those challenges.
Well, one called into offense. Well, we're talking about Exo, but how about Mazo from the box, slamming one home? This was gorgeous. Set it up for himself off the ceiling, and then did the rest of the work on the goal line. No one from Valkyrie could read that play. And you said you wanted Mizo to lead the charge offensively. Well, how about Mazo right there?
Mazo just absolutely obliterating that ball. I thought Valkyrie was going to get there because they had that man kind of hanging around the backboard. Just kind of got caught up. Short side shot and Plum a save. Mazo back around, stealing shot opportunity. He tries to fall back down, looking for the bump. Down in front, and Plum smartly avoids that by going up the wall. Mizu looking for the waterfall, and they almost get the exact same goal.
Oh my word, Empire has come out trying to prove something here. Mizo and Mazo leading the charge, but going the other way. Plum moves forward and finds a demo, blows up the last man into about 1,000 pieces of what was an Octane. Mizu stood no chance.
Those are the plays they're looking for. Some of these transitions where they can get downfield in a hurry. They notice that space in the midfield kind of giving up from Empire. Off some of these plays where they're rotating back to intent to let them play the ball in. Plum for a centering pass. Mazo to the outside. Snow going to make the save. Mizu trying to rush downfield. Xerari up the sidewall. He doesn't get a hit. And Plum, little space in front of him. He'll try and flick it along. Crave able to keep it in. Good pressure here again from Empire. Snow to the ceiling, and this one just gonna float down to midfield, and this one a challenge from Mizu. Gonna get the double back off the side. Mazo again down in front, nobody there to take the shot, and maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there.
I don't think they had the boost to go for that, so wisely bailing out, not over-aggressing and getting punished on the other end, not when you have a lead, Empire. So pretty smart, but I think you're right. If they had just had a little boost, that would have been a golden opportunity to put in insurance heading into the final minute of gameplay. But Empire has controlled the possession in this game so well, have not allowed all that many opportunity to arise for this VA side. They're playing a lot of defense, and they've held Empire to just 2 goals, but that's not going to be enough if you can't score 2 of your own on the other side. Great save, but the fact that you're making saves right now, Valkyrie Array, is not a good sign.
And they're taking advantage of the middle of the field, too. Look at all these balls going high off the backboard, shots down in front, looking for these double taps. And that is where they have found a lot of purchase because no one has been on the backboard for Valkyrie Array. A bump down in front. Plum take the shot. Down in front. What a save as Mizu somehow gets up to it.
I don't know how Mizu dodged that and still got a touch on the ball. Incredible stuff defensively. Empire are hanging on to their 1-goal lead now that Valkyrie Array has moved forward. But the defensive end, Exo, a crucial touch out to Snow. Transition counterattack for one last shot, perhaps? No, Mizu and Mazo taking it away. And ticking this clock down to 0-0s. Would have to be 0 seconds from the back wall of VA. Snow in the air catches, looks for the bump. They find it on Mazo, but No one was far enough in front for VA to score that ball, and Empire holds on to their 1-goal lead for a Game 1 win.
Great adjustments from week one. They got dominated kind of in the defensive half, didn't really generate any kind of offense. A clear turnaround here tonight as Mazu really dominating the field to play 4 shots for him, and all of these big chances in the center of the field. These guys have been lighting it up with these challenges high off the backboard, and I feel like they're just warmed up and ready to go.
It certainly looks that way. Mazo and Mizu looked so dangerous every single time they touched the ball. And on the side of VA, in this series against Synergy, when they were playing well, it was Snowf and Exo leading the charge offensively. And here, it was really a lot of Plum. That 1 goal was the demo play that Plum kind of snuck forward, put the ball on target, ran ahead and demoed the 3rd man. But Exo and Snowf did not do a whole lot in the offensive end in terms of creating quality opportunities. So we'll see if Valkyrie Array starts to up the tempo offensively as a result of just another slow start in the series, or if it really is Empire Esports having their number tonight.
Touch pass, Crave to the side, Exorari. Touch out, Mazo back down in front. He's looking for the bump out, and from Mizu, big shot it in, and Empire starting right where they left off.
My word, right out of the gates, Mizu and Mazo doing work. Plum couldn't get up, neither could Snow. And once again, no challenge at the point of contact, and Empire Esports able to put themselves up early in game 2.
Gonna take a face-off very quickly as Mizu, a little bit of a design play, looking for the demo out in front again. Plum off the side while Crave trying to fall back down onto it. Snow, pass over, good touch. Snow looking for the touch back to mid, can't get the double. That's Ferrari trying to set it up. And these challenges have been so quick on the defensive end from this Empire Esports squad.
I love just a second ago, Crave was moving forward into the orange end looking for a demo, having so much faith in Mizu and Mazu to defend, and why not? When they're finding saves like that, then move forward and stifle the offensive opportunity for your opposition when you've got the chance. There's a lot of trust and synergy at the moment in this Empire Esports backcourt. A minute in, they are using it to perfection. Their 1-goal lead, and they have not yet allowed but 1 shot to Valkyrie Array.
They're keeping them to the outsides of the field, too, trying to play all the touches through the corner. Crave looking to go straight up the gut himself. Snow, good touch back down, not much boost. Plum hammers it home, and Mazo able to make the quick save on the back end. Good idea from Valkyrie Array. They're looking to get these transitions downfield, and here might be a chance off the side while Plum gets just Koopa stopped down in front. Snowf with a chance as this one comes off the backboard. Now a chance the other way. Empire will leave it for a second as Mazo didn't have the boost to go for it. Crave back down in front of Exorari. A lot of north-south gameplay already.
Empire not going to find anything off of that one, though. Better defense in this game from Valkyrie Array. They're able to strip the possession from Empire a lot quicker than in game 1, not allowing nearly as many opportunities. But here's one for Crave off the back wall. Crave, no good, no shot, as he made too much contact on the top side of the ball instead of in that center. So in transition, Plummet opportunity. This time, too much on the side of the ball, so no one can clean contact despite 2 great opportunities for both sides.
Ooh, Valkyrie Array might have let one slip there. They hit 3v1 because Empire was already pressed up and got a bad recovery. That one off the sidewall. Snow, good positioning, and Exorari. And this is what Empire's done so well in defensive end, getting into these shooting lanes that they're trying to hammer home, so they need some short passes. Mizo solo play. Vault back under for Plum makes the save, but Mazo right there to follow up. And Empire going straight down the field with a transition of their own.
Mizu and Mazo, as you might expect because of their names, have gotten so many goals for Empire tonight thanks to their chemistry. What a solo play setup that was from Mizu, putting a lot of pressure on VA's backline into making mistakes, and that path was clear to the net for Mazo. And so 2-0 to Empire Esports thanks to some great offensive work from the 2 MZ players. There's some vowel differences in between there, but the M's and the Z's are what matters.
Looking for the center. Mizu almost had it. I think Crave might have just cantered it off of his car. So midfield feed down to Plum, and this is the passing play that I wanted to see. Short little passes, giving them no chance to block the shot.
Snow's getting involved here in transition over to Plum. Back to off the wall to himself. And it is Plum that turns in the second goal for Valkyrie Ray in this series, getting very much involved in the offensive end. Exo and Snow playing more of that backline role while Plum moves forward in transition and gets these goals, potentially a third for Plum across the series, but nothing there. Mazu gets the save, gets in the way, and Empire Esports gets out.
Ferrari making a nice block. The pressure mounting here. Shot on the bump. What a save as Mizu somehow gets it again. 2 saves where he's been bumped off of the ball, but still manages to get it.
A momentary lockup of cars on the sidewall, but it was broken. So we move in midfield at full strength for both sides. That 50 taken well by VA, but Mizu takes the second one even better. Now at the back wall, a demo opening up the net, but there was no third man as Crave was demoed himself. A lot of cars being blown up here. There's a third in the last 10 seconds or so, trying to interrupt the rotations of one another, but no one coming out the better for it.
I like the pressure here being exerted by Valkyrie Ray, taking these shots down the middle of the field. And Exorari and Snow really getting involved in the plays, making sure to keep that ball right where they want it to be. Stealing this midfield boost. Big shot. Exorari gonna backflip into it. What a shot, as that one just somehow blocked out in front.
We'll shift the transmission into reverse and send that one home, Exo. Great read. Sitting there on the back wall as Plum takes a huge 50 with Crave and Mazo, setting up his teammate for success. And Valkyrie Ray net themselves a second and game too late. Just 50 on the clock here, Gil. Things getting interesting, but where Empire thrives, missing out on that opportunity. And a 1v1, Crave comes out with the W. Moving forward, you're right, these two teams love their north and south gameplay as both sides getting chance after chance.
Yeah, no team wanted to take the width of the field at all. They're just taking long lightning shots down in front of passing play. Crave gets blocked by Plum. On the line again, and now a transition shot downfield. Mazo gonna have some time to play this up the wall. Mazo just waiting for his team to rotate around. Great hold on the ball to make sure they can try and break out Exorari. Back down, 7 seconds left. Still a chance here for either team. Crave looking for the centering pass off the sidewall. Crave not going to be able to get to it. Now Snow the other way. Mazo trying to nail it back down. Exorari far side. Crave to the sidewall again. He can't get the double, and this one will drop, and we will have overtime in game 1.
Love the patience
Game
there.
2.
Yeah, I love the patience there from Mazo. Didn't dive in on 0 seconds trying to force something, and instead was able to get out and help the ball touch the ground to force this overtime. And now Mazo once again call his name and he will respond. Pushing the ball off to Crave, who will work through the corner, looking to do it all himself, zigging and zagging around the field, over defenders, under them, it doesn't matter. Won't set up anyone. And Ray in transition, where they've looked at me a couple of times, looks to end this game, but nothing there. And continuing this north to south, we're just going Antarctica back to the North Pole, Gil. These two teams are not content going along the equator.
Vicious pre-flip there from Mazo as well. He's trying to hit that boomer from Mizu off the sidewall. Exorari with some time, look out past the center, and then interrupted by Crave. Crave has done a good job keying in on some of these passing lanes now that we've seen Valkyrie Ray trying to exploit some of that middle of the field. Exorari, good block. Tried to get that one down. Mizu up the sidewall, so patient with it. Snow back down in front. Both players miss it. Mazo a chance off the sidewall. Back down we go. Good pressure here again by Empire. Off to the side, Plum. I didn't get the clear. He'll just drag it on along. Mazo again, another great challenge, and Empire has just been swarming the offensive zone.
What they did to open things up, but a huge clear found by VA. This will get by time for the players to get back in position. Nav boost. Really set up on offense. Mazo took a while to get that ball off the back wall. That Goomba Stomp nearly set up the game winner, but instead going the other way for Empire here. Crave trying to slow things down, not allow a quick transition, even keep more possession. Great stuff at the midfield from Empire right there to make sure VA didn't get a quick chance catching them off guard and just play for more OT.
And Crave is doing a great job on the back end for Empire, just getting some of these clears back in, making consistent challenges right at the midfield line. Exorari trying to break back out. Crave pinches it down, but Plum right there. The 50 still in corner. Mizu off the top, out in front. Snow can't get to that one. Mazo with a chance, puts it wide. Crave comes back around to the corner. Hexarari, the 50, gonna waterfall down in front. That one cleared away by Plum, and Valkyrie Ray has done a very, very good job making sure to stay on their backboard as opposed to game one.
They're weathering the storm very, very nicely with that backboard play. It hasn't translated into offense just yet, but it also has kept them alive in this overtime and in this game. Don't want to go down 2-0, although they have battled back from that position before. So just playing solid defense right now, keeping the hands out of the playmakers like Mizo and Mazo. But as I say that, they combine for a shot that is saved by EXO. Huge backline play. Once again, called into action at the last second. This time it's Snow, allowing a clearance to be found, but only to that center circle where Mizu gets in the way. 3 minutes into this OT. No winner just yet, but Empire with a lot of pressure.
Valkyrie Ray's boost management has been excellent on the back line as well. Usually when you see this much pressure from one of these bubble teams, it generally results in a goal, but a minute and a half gone just straight into their zone. They still maintain that same consistent rotation. So great job by Valkyrie Ray trying to get this one down to center. Plum. They'll leave it as Mizu comes back around. Snope off sidewall. Crave trying to breach up and back down in front. This one off the post. Crave out in front. Somehow makes the save. Crave comes up huge.
That was some ice cold stuff from Crave right there. Not panicking, getting the back flip that he needed to, and then almost nailing a shot, but Snope was also there. Probably got on touch on it had Crave taken the rocket on net. Instead, Mizu a chance, but Snope will block. Valkyrie getting in the way, not allowing an easy lane to the net for Empire, as we saw a couple of times in game one. Instead, they're biding their time, waiting for good transition plays like this one. Mazu, great work dodging that attempted demo and then getting a touch for one of his teammates to take over and find that clear.
EXO now with a chance, plenty of boost. Hexarari to the backboard, and Crave right there to make this hit. 2 players right there for Empire as Mizu. No boost and a dream, able to 50 it on through. He's looking for the bump on Hexarari, can't get it as he sends this one with the length of the pitch. Missed touch by Crave, back down in front. And he's able to get back to it. A little bit of hustle as he panics on that.
Crave has scared us a couple of times here in OT, but has always made up for it and found the touch he needed to. Here especially, the orange half, not for long. EXO off the back wall, expecting a miss, or maybe hoping for a miss. Means you're not going to miss that very often. But so he found the touch. Half the midfield line, it's Empire re-posturing in offense. Back and forth, more so than the beginning of this overtime, but 5 minutes in, no clear path to victory for either side.
Mizu, huge save, and now we see Valkyrie start to use the width of the field. They're setting up some of these plays by getting that boost advantage off their defensive rotation. This one down into Crave's car is Hexarari. Brings it back around. Crave just going to wait on this one. Doesn't have much boost. He'll take the 50 instead. Mazo over 1. Going for the demo, and Hexarari has avoided 3 demos now as they've tried to target him out of that corner.
This game has been all about avoiding those demos because both sides aren't afraid to pressure your back line and hunt for third man demos, but both sides know that, I'm sure, and they have been keen on when a player is sweeping the line. It's a good clear from Crave. And we'll push deep into the orange half. VA getting a lot more of a presence in the blue half and making Empire's back line work. Work they will into offense, and for a game winner, Mazo and Mizu. Who else for the third?
And this is the dynamic duo. Mizu somehow gets that one off the sidewall just enough to set up Mazo out in front, and Empire taking game 2. And what a series we have on our hands. Even though the 2-0 coming out in favor of Empire right now, Valkyrie has played them close to the vest.
Both games have been 1-goal games. In the first one, it was a difference of 2 shots between these 2 squads. This one, it was a difference of 1 shot. Empire Esports with 11, Valkyrie Array with 10. So, of course, this is that 11th shot that was enough for Empire. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was just the fact they got 1 more shot. That's how stats work, right, Gil?
Yeah, that's exactly how stats work. And as we see 7 saves as well for both squads.
Wow.
And, you know, just kind of matching the same score lines. You like to see it. But Empire really, really dominated the force of offensive play. Their pace setting was extremely good throughout the mid game. Like I had said, a minute and a half of consistent pressure off that Valkyrie Array defense, and their boost management wasn't quite as good. That's generally when those teams tend to score. But Valkyrie Array doing all the right things in game 2, making a great adjustment on the defensive end to maintain some of that just long clears and looking for transitions that got them some of those goals.
And then at the end of things, they just couldn't find that one shot that made the difference in game 2. And so now down 2-0, reminiscent of their series 2 nights ago against Synergy, when they were down 2-0 in the series, and then came roaring back, winning 4 straight. And we'll see if they can do that here, but to do that, they'll have to find a way to stop the dynamic duo of Mizo and Mazo, who have been the source of many a goal for this Empire Esports team. But here it's Crave slotting in the first 19 seconds in.
Brave no longer content being that third man back, jumps up into the offense. Great pass from Mizu again. He's finding these angles in the corner that's getting the ball out in front. And Crave, no stranger to that midfield slot, pounds it home.
All right, Dr. Array once again battling from behind. That has been the story of this series so far. Empire, while they have been tied up a couple of times, they always seem to find that lead back here. It's never taken away, it's just extended.
Not much you can do. That's just a great shot by Mazo. Finding that far corner, beating 2 players. And now Valkyrie Array gotta start feeling a little nervous on the defensive side of the ball, because Mizu and Mazo have just been clicking. They've found each other on the field quite a few times now in these 2 games. Mazo trying to get this one back down in front. Mizu not going to peel. Plum looking for Xarari on the far side. Mizu gets in the passing lane and makes the save.
Stuff there in defense, finally having to play it. Empire Esports have been in the offensive end for the majority of this first minute, but doing well when they are pushed back. That is not an avoided bump, and it'll set up a score for Xarari. 2-1, Valkyrie Array getting one back.
This is what I wanted to see from Xarari. He's a player that kind of figures you out after a while. It takes a little bit to get going, but he is that consistent second man where he starts keying in on the passes where the ball is going to be. And this is the Valkyrie Array that I want to see. Getting up into the faces, challenging at the point of attack, and not letting this Empire team stifle you in the offensive zone.
When VA made that comeback happen, it was Xarari that stepped up and started leading the charge in terms of goal scoring. Here, though, Plum wants a second. Will instead set up Exo for the shot, but what a save. There is no follow-up, however, defensively. Xarari will be the striker that slots home the second.
Xarari now 2 goals, starting to get warmed up, and he said he was kind of the player to watch in that series against Synergy. He's looking to be that same type of player here against Empire. And Snow, one of these grizzled veterans kind of the bubble scene. You've seen him around in pretty much every tourney known to man, and he is looking to get started here as well. Mizu gonna leave this one, looks for the bump. Mazu, plenty of time, plenty of space, goes to the backboard again. Xarari, big save, and Snow with the clear out the Plum, look for the transition, can't catch it as Crave right back out in front. He's gonna follow through, flip reset, shot far side, and Xarari makes the save, and back and forth we go, Bepic.
The only thing that would have made that play by Crave even better would have been grabbing that corner boost, but instead it falls into enemy hands. Dr. Ray will try to use it to escape, and they will escape and do one better. They find the lead, starting out down by 2. They've put home 3 straight, and Gil, here comes Valkyrie Ray.
Xarari with the hat trick here as he's getting their offense fired up and ready to go. Snow setting him up as well off that key defensive play that set up the transition. Mizu, demo from Mazo. Xarari again, starting to challenge them heavily in their passing game.
This is what they did against Synergy. They cut out the passing lanes and took away that avenue of offense. And of course, Xarari stepped in and made a lot of goals happen, which is what is transpiring in Game 3 currently, although it was a much more difficult comeback in this instance. Start out in a hole, and they've clawed their way out of it, now putting even more pressure on the Empire backline. This is impressive from Valkyrie Array, and every team in this group and going forward should be afraid of the comeback potential of this team.
And they're doing such a good job grabbing the midfield boost. Look at every single rotation. They're looking to steal these big pads. They're transitioning out off of these small pads in front of the net. And that is why 3 players were hemmed in from the side of Empire inside their net without much to do because they didn't have any boost to break out.
Mizu and Mazo can't do much without boost in the tank, but Mazo sure will try even grabbing the 100 on the way out. Still leads to a clear for Valkyrie Array. Mizu picks up the 100, but Snow wins the 50. Nothing in the tank, though. Can't continue the play himself. Instead, Exo steps up, takes a shot, a bit off target, but the 5th goal not necessarily needed right now if you are Valkyrie Array, but it's certainly welcome. 3 goals, the better of Empire Esports, and what a run VA is on right now.
And this play's partially set up by Stoke grabbing that corner boost. That is why when they tried to transition to that far side, they weren't able to get it out because he turned right back around, challenged it, and got the ball out in front off of Plum for the rebound. And now Snoke looking for that lead pass blocked by Crave. Down to the side, Mazu. The ceiling Xarari has been a force in the midfield and looks to continue it here for the side of Valkyrie Array.
Brave set up. Mizu met at the point of contact by Snow. Great work there defensively. Valkyrie have not forgotten their roots in this series. They played great defense the first couple of games, and it will continue here now that they've been playing a whole lot more on the offensive end. Plum, pop up. Star will bail out, allowing Empire to move forward, still staying warm on their back line. This Valkyrie side was dangerous there from Plum, but no goal for Empire. Instead, going the other way, it's a goal for Valkyrie Array.
And you really can't blame Empire on that one. They're trying to get aggressive, trying to get some goals back in this game. Up a little bit too far. And that one just a laser beam from Plum on that.
Beautiful. Like the 50 out to the wall, and then Plum stayed in the play waiting for the pass from Exo. That was a dime. I don't know what gets into Valkyrie Array when they hit game 3, but it is something that I want for all of my ranked games, for all my teammates, because they have looked incredible. The synergy in offense and defense, it doesn't matter. VA has stepped up in a very big way here. If they continue this going forward, Empire is in danger of dropping this series.
Mizu looking to get back to the ball. They're looking to build some momentum here at the end of this game. Headed into game 4. Valkyrie Array has been on fire in the offensive zone. Mizu blocked out. Brave back to it. Double commit in the corner from Empire. Plum 50 out to the other side. Xarari going to try and buy some time. Big demo from Plum. Or Snope, I'm sorry. Xarari looking for the backboard. Doesn't have the boost to get there. This one going to feather down in front. Nobody there. Plum just rolling around for his recovery. Not able to find it.
Empire is just taunting for 1 take into game 3 because right now Valkyrie Array has had them red for the last 4 minutes or so. 6 straight goals. Not good for mental. Let's make it 7. Why not? Valkyrie Array, by way of Xarari, have stormed back into this series. Exo has 4 goals, 1 assist, 3 saves. Those 4 goals came on 6 shots. But he was 800 points, Gil. He has made his name very apparent in this game.
Valkyrie Array, a big part of this has been them challenging at the point of attack. They have not given any control over to Empire that they were kind of abusing in that first game. That midfield space, a big proponent that allowed Empire to kind of control the game. And Valkyrie Array taking back game 3 by storm.
Very impressed. I've seen this before, and I'm still impressed with Valkyrie Array's ability to take control of this series back. 13 shots on target, more than doubling Empire Esports there, and scoring almost half of them. That was very, very well done in game 3. But all of it happened in game 3. VA has to keep this momentum going into the next 3 games at the very least. Empire Esports, it's a fresh scoreboard and a fresh 5 minutes to work with in the next game. VA has to be wary of that.
And Empire, they just have to put this game out of their head, right? They have the 2 games that they've won, and they've done it in a dominating fashion. This is one of those ones where you just throw it away, and that's the mark of a good team that I see throughout this Melon Patch League. They're able to shrug off some of these losses exactly like this one and come back and play exactly how they did in the first one. But it's going to take a little more effort here. Their defensive presence, their first touch needs to be to a teammate. They're losing control of it because Valkyrie Array, once they get the these shots on, they're starting to take that midfield boost and kind of boost starve them out, where we saw Valkyrie Ray had a good boost management on their end when they were on defense, but now it's going to be up to the side of Empire to do the exact same thing on the other side.
Either find teammates or find clears into space. The key for Empire in this game. 15 seconds in. They're pushing VA back, but it's a big save by Snow. But even got enough power behind to send it off the back wall and to that midfield line. Great demo, but the recoil turns into a clear and a chance for Plum, who just stuffs it right through the last man of Empire Esports. Will keep the scoring streak going and turn his car into a bulldozer right there.
Crave, I think, was trying to mind game Plum a little bit. Thought he was going to take the initial angle. He kind of hooked back around, and then, unfortunately, it just kind of glanced off his car into net. So Empire have to play a little bit from behind early on. Xarari up the sidewall. Good challenge there. Off to the side again. Crave looking for that centering pass. Mazo. Xarari just tips it up. Mazo forced to make the save. Down to the sideline, pre-flip from Plum, but Mazo gonna leave it for Crave, the breakout. Stuffed out by Snope, looking for that short side, and Mizu will calmly take it up the wall for the breakout to the other end.
Empire finally gets some respite from playing defense, thanks to Mizu taking charge and carrying it out, but the team synergy has not quite been there, or been as apparent as it was in the first two games for Empire. They aren't finding each other, the communication perhaps breaking down, I'm not sure, but Valkyrie Ray has caused some issues for Empire here, and they're only down by 1 goal, but they have allowed 8 straight to go in. The bleeding needs to be stopped.
And it might get started right here. Mazo trying to get that far side to Mizu, broken up by, again, Xarari. He has just been a thorn in the side of this passing game for Empire. Snow, short side, Crave. Clear over the mid. He's looking for Mizu on the far side.
Nice.
Gets it. Shot. Far side. Plum. Big save as he gets it over. Excellent defense by Valkyrie.
But a great clearance from Empire, finding a teammate that will get things back in order. Here, a clearance to a squad member. Crave stays with it. The shot is gold! Empire stops the bleeding in a huge way with a clearance to a teammate, and then Crave did the rest.
He took off like a rocket to get that one. He went straight from the ground into the air, and with 0 boost remaining, makes the shot happen. Great placement there by Crave off that hard angle. And now Empire right back in it. Mizu. Short side Plum trying to set this one up, trying to maintain a 50 off that ceiling shot. Xarari double. Sideball, Mizu can't get it back out in front. Crave again has started these transitions extremely well from Empire, and Crave taking another shot. That one back on it. Plum makes the save again. It's been a bit of a dueling shootout between Plum and Crave.
Crave has stepped in to be the level head for Empire right now, facilitating the offense and finding teammates, hitting shots. Great stuff from him right now, but Empire needs to keep it going. They've only found 1 in this game. That's enough to get it tied, but they need a game win to stop all the momentum from Valkyrie Ray in its tracks. This could be the second. Crave, though, off target, will use the back wall to attempt to set up some offense. Mizu a big 50 win for another, but Valkyrie Ray does a great job at the near post. Not the greatest of plays from Plum, but it'll do to get the ball to the midfield line and force Empire back momentarily.
Snow trying to get this clear out. We haven't called his name too terribly much, but that is because he has been in a consistent rotation for this Valkyrie Ray squad, and he proves it right there. A big save on the line. Xarari trying to break out off the sidewall. Crave steps right back in. Snow, sidewall, Mizu, big bump from Crave, and he sets it up. Crave is on fire.
Crave seems to be the only player name that we have said in the last minute or so. I've been on his player cam since he started that air dribble over to Mizu. That was a great clear, and really righted the wrongs of Empire Esports. And right there was perfect. Did what he had to do in the corner, turned his camera to Snow, and completely took Snow out of the play, clearing the way for that shot from Mizu. Oh, by the way, always hits those with the perfect of touches. But here we go. I don't want to spend too much time on that play. I think I already have, because there's 70 seconds now, and Valkyrie Array have been put down by 1. Now it's time to see how they respond in this kind of situation.
Tough play here off the sidewall. Great clear out. He's looking for Plum, but Crave breaks it up. Down to the sideline. Gets the demo. Mazu with a chance. Exorari. Good pinch, but it's not enough. Mazu down in front looking for the shot from Plum as he makes the save. Mazu trying to get back around. Recovery to the ground. He waits for the 50. Such patience. A shot on, and Snow makes the save. Crave to the ceiling, down to Mizu. Big pressure here from Empire as Mazu tries to keep it alive. Looks for the center, 30 seconds left. And what a battle, as both these teams have just been back and forth.
All 3 players in the vicinity of that play from Empire, so a little awkward, but they do well. They're winning challenges, consecutive challenges, and keeping Valkyrie Array in their defensive end, but finally chance to move forward, and it is shut down by Mizu and Mazo combining for that clearance. It's looking like a 0-second goal is necessary for Valkyrie Array, but gotta do a better job of finding teammates than that. Snowf down the pitch, but there's no one ready to receive except for Mizu. Exo will keep it up, but that's only until Mizu collapses on the hood of his car and wins the game for Empire Esports. I think it's safe to say they have righted the wrongs of Game 3.
Man, they came back with a vengeance, and that's the mark of a good team, being able to put that 2-7 scoreline out of your mind and just come back and play very, very consistent Rocket League. And Crave, the MVP of this game, in my opinion. He was everywhere on the pitch, creating chances for Empire, and he really kept the ball alive in the offensive zone. That's why a lot of that pressure was coming through the sides of the field, as Mizu and Mazu were just able to jump through the center field, because Crave just read any kind of clear that Valkyrie was trying to make.
Crave did a great job of reading opposition and then facilitating the offense when given the opportunity. Slowed things down when he needed to, and always kept an eye out for Mizu or Mazo in that infield. That is a big reason why Empire was able to get out of defense more often in that game than in the previous, and double their shot tally. They had 11 in that game. That's 5 more than the last one, and then they held Valkyrie Array to 3 shots. They went from 13 to 3. Thanks to what Empire Esports did there in defense. Now, 0-0's back on the scoreboard, but momentum way back on the side of Empire.
And Crave trying to start things off right away with a quick shot on net after the face-off. Mazu pinch off as Plum gets a hold of him. Snow, good air dribble. The demo downfield, and Crave tried to set up a transition play. Ends up being a shot on net. Mazu back around Plum again. This one going to drop down in front. Crave, another shot on and in. And the MVP from last game gets it started here.
Crave's starting to turn to the MVP for this entire match. What a read. The goal line was clear. That helped things. The Snow tried to cover it, but it's difficult to cover the entire net when you're both coming off of the back wall and you're that little tiny Octane. Crave had a lot of real estate to work with right there and hit the shot very, very nicely. Empire, though, careful. Crave gets back in time.
Sorry, to the midfield. Passing play over to Snow. Interrupted as Mazo just going to ball back around. He was trying to buy a little bit of time. He's looking for that pass play, not able to connect. And now, all the way back down, Crave is going to spin on the ball. Makes a nice 50. Makes another nice touch. Crave around two. He's looking to beat them all downfield. Trying to go coast to coast along the sideline, but held up as Exorari exit pass goes awry. Nobody there on the opposite end. Snow back down the Plum, and past missed connections here for Valkyrie.
That will allow more opportunities for Mizo and Mazo. Not the combination you want to give shots, but Crave, as the third man, left out of the cool naming trend that Empire Esports seems to have with 2 of their 3 players, but still being a big one in this series. We've talked so much about Empire Esports over the last 6 minutes of gameplay, but how about Plum stepping up and getting goals when it matters most? In that game 2, when it was super tight, that started giving momentum on the side of VA, it was Plum that was finding those goals before Exo stepped up. And right there, getting one back for Valkyrie Ray, and that is a huge one to score for your side to right the ship, get it back, and then going in the right direction.
Unfortunate bounce there for Exarari. He was looking for the rebound out in front. Snow short side and a big save from Mazo as he's looking to bring the breaks down the other end. Plum, 50 out in front, goes to the sideline. Now Snow, plenty of time to get to this one. Holds it up, looking for that centering pass down to Exarari. Broken up by Mizu, looking for Mazo off the backboard. Plum makes the save as he pushes it aside. And Crave right back around midfield feed over to Mizu. Can't connect. Both these teams trying their best to just throw these rocket-level passes across the front.
He's just capable of reading those. Crave just a little bit too much juice behind it. Here comes Mazda. What do they got in store for us from the corner? Well, nothing much, says Plum as they step in and allow Snoke to get a clearance, but only as far as Crave at that midfield line. Controlling the center of the field has been crucial. For the success of Empire Esports, that was closer than it probably should have been, but Mizu put it into the corner, out of danger, and Crave with a huge clearance down the pitch. Look for the cherry-picking Mazo. Couldn't quite find him, but it still works out into a chance for Empire Esports. This is great stuff from the boys in blue.
Crave trying to put it back in. This one off the side, but look at far side, nobody there. I don't think either one of his teammates thought he was going to get that challenge. Exarari, lead pass down to Plum. Plum just trying to slow it up. He's trying to hit another 50. But this Empire Esports roster right out in front. Exo back down. Plum offside. Well, Exo with the chance. He moves it again. Snoop, what a save out of Mazo. Somehow got over to it.
Huge stuff defensively from Empire. That was a golden opportunity for Valkyrie Array, but instead it's Empire now pressuring the back line of VA. And who else but Mizu and Mazo. Mazo couldn't corral that ball into a shot, so a chance that went awry. But the fact that this game is still tied, despite Valkyrie Array's huge push there a second ago, is a huge statement from Empire Esports. They've been playing a decent bit of defense, but this is not game 3 any longer. This is game number 5, where Empire is winning the series 3-1. Mizu and Mazo still trying to do magical things with Crave in tandem.
Can't let this Valkyrie Array team linger around. We saw what happened in the Synergy series. Crave back down in front, Exarari. Trying to push it back out. This one gonna canter all the way to the far side. Mazo follow it himself, broken up by Exarari, who's been so good today about getting in those passing lanes. And Snow now with a bit of time, one-on-one. Snow with a chance, goes for the air dribble, and Mizu sends him flying.
We spent a lot of time complimenting Empire Esports here, but Valkyrie has done a great job of managing this game, keeping it close despite all of the hype behind this Empire roster and the stuff that they have been doing on the pitch for the last 10 minutes or so. Valkyrie Array keeping things tight with good pressure from the midfield line and making saves like that when it matters most. Snow, a huge presence on the goal line for VA right now, and now in transition could make a huge statement by taking this game late. It is stopped by Empire Esports. Valkyrie Array, though, posturing for the final possession of this game.
With 9 seconds left, Exarari looking to put a statement win here. 50 down the line. We're going to pop down in front. Both players get beat. And it's in. What a shot as it pulls 2 players on the line.
No, Gil, that was not what a shot. That was defensive, whatever that was. An own goal to give Valkyrie Array the lead with 1 second left. And now Empire Esports, despite their performance in this game, is going to be, no, not yet, actually, not dropping this game. Could score on 0 seconds. Mazo misses clean contact, and VA does escape in that game, and they've brought this series to a 3-2 scoreline.
And hear me out, Bepic. It was an amazing shot. It was right in between both players, and I can just hear the comms now from the side of Empire. You got it. Both of them saying exactly the same time, as it was just a Crave game. Look at those 8 shots from this man. Empire not able to get it done, and Valkyrie Array stay alive in this best of 7. And a big effect from Plum. He made a lot of key goal line saves and clears out to Snope to really put the pressure on here at the end of this game.
You've convinced me, Gil. You're right. That was a good shot. And it basically sums up that entire game for Valkyrie Array. Do enough to win the game. They put that ball towards the net, and it caused chaos for Empire Esports as it was just, it was perfectly placed. You're right. So where the defense got super confused. No one knew who was to go there, and Valkyrie Array will end up taking this game somehow. Despite all of the hype that was behind Empire in that game, they somehow get their second game of the series.
And credit to Valkyrie Array just staying strong on the defensive line. A lot of crazy shots coming out through just awkward deflections from the side of Empire. They were trying to score from the corners and taking some nice shots off of some of these crate clears that he was taking some of those low percentage shots to the outside and was generating a lot of rebound opportunities out in front, and that's what allowed Empire to get as many shots as they did. But Valkyrie Array hold on, consistent boost management again being a big boon for them on the defensive side of the field.
It is that back line that continues to do wonders. They had to get rid of 12 shots that were put on target from Empire Esports there, and they did it. And they kept the game tied until that last shot. That was a good shot. It was good enough. And Valkyrie Array keeping themselves alive here. We could see 3 straight games. They won 4 straight on Friday, but Empire Esports still has a decent bit of wind behind their sails in this series, Gil, and they still could very well take it in Game 6 here.
And Valkyrie has impressed me with their passing plays now, because Exorari has kind of fallen back into this non-aggressive role where he's challenging every single passing lane. He's getting these small tap passes through the corners of the field, through these clears out from Plum, and they're finding some just tricky redirects out in front that has fooled Empire. That's why that shot, courtesy from the pinch to the sideline, just kind of rolled in, is because they've been taking those same challenges through the corners of the field and really have just tried to run their offense through that.
I still keep replaying that last shot from VA. You know the one I'm talking about in my head over and over again. And it just, the perspective that I had on it was ridiculous. I can't imagine what comes to like after that. But Empire Esports, they have to move on from it. The reason that they should still feel just fine in this series is because they built themselves a 3-game buffer to work with in this best of 7. Up 3-1 over your opposition. You got 3 chances to win it. You had strike 1. Now, just don't get strike 2. But if it happens, don't strike out, because that is a big loss, and it hurts when you think about how close you had this series in your hands.
You have to feel like they woke a little bit of a sleeping giant on the side of Valkyrie Array, starting to build a little story for themselves for comeback potential. A phrase we know all too well, Bepic, as Snope tries to take the shot to the backboard. Mizu with the save over to Mazo, but it's not enough. Crave back around. Exorari up 50 out in front. Mizu spawns right in front of it, able to get the touch, and off he goes down the sideline.
Great work from Mizu. Getting rid of a couple of VA players. Won't get rid of the offensive. That ball, a little awkward off the back wall, but once again, Mizu finds the touch, pressuring the Valkyrie Array midfield presence. And finally, Crave will be able to break through it. They created that crack in the brick wall. It was at the midfield line, and then they were able to break it down. But now I'm sure it's going to be rebuilt with that confusion in the Empire rotation. Didn't know who was supposed to go for it. And that is the second time in recent history that has happened. It can't keep happening for Empire Esports, or they are in real danger of dropping the series.
Challenged by Crave. Exorari to the sideline. Mizu read by Exorari as it comes back around. Crave trying to drop it back to mid. Mazo off the sidewall. Nobody going to go for that is Exorari. Down to Snow. And those are those little passes I'm talking about. The 50 on the line. Mazo right back around. He's looking for a flip shot to the sideline. Short. Back out in front. It's Snow. Maybe able to make the clear, but what a shot out of Mazo.
I didn't expect him to get that deep into the Valkyrie Array side. That was some incredible control of the ball and getting it past your opposition. Now, a demo opening up a lane for Crave. The miss the same, but didn't have the read. I don't think expecting the miss right there, but at least the offense here for Empire, and if they find the first in game number 6, that will do wonders for their confidence after dropping game 5 in that heartbreaking fashion. Still able to play defense, but they are doing well to find clearances and get through the midfield presence that Valkyrie Array can build and keep built for a long time.
A bit of a masterclass here by Crave, stealing those midfield boosts over and over again. That's why about a minute and a half gone, Empire controlling the pace of play extremely well, but Xerari looking to change it. Has a man on the far side, Mizu. Just going to deny it off the roof of his car. It's going to be back out in front, Plum with a touch across. Xerari just going to wait for the touch from Mazu. Pass one. 50'd. Snow to the far side. Crave looking to foot race it to the wall. Crave, read by Plum. He jumped out of nowhere. This man took off in Buenos Aires. Xerari trying to get it back down to the pinch, the sideline, and Empire has just been suffocating with their challenges.
They have not allowed very many quality looks for VA to develop. That one's decent, but once again, there's a player there to cover it. At this level, is a pretty easy save, especially when Mizu is the player going down after it. Crave a bump, setting up Mazo, but there's no boost in the tank. Well, there was 6, but that is not nearly enough to get up and make that shot happen. So Empire forced to reset, try and break down VA in transition. And of course, it's Crave leading the charge. They'll set up Mazo, but VA gets in the way. Pesky defense for Valkyrie Ray, not allowing these opportunities to develop on the other side.
Look out. Oh my, Mizu just pulled the whole lobby. He had all day with this shot too. Fakes the ceiling touch, fakes the musty, goes right back to the ground. He knows where Snope was positioned on the wall. A great heads-up play from the side of Empire.
Come on, VA. I had just spoken about how pesky you were in getting in the face of Empire in offense, and then you let that first goal go in, and then you let this one go in off the kickoff. That one was a lot more awkward, albeit you couldn't really do much in terms of rotation. Just 50s off Snoke. That's absurd. EXO might have had a chance, but still, it's awkward off the kickoff. But if you don't let that first goal go in, the second one doesn't go in either. Challenge Mizu as quickly as you can in defense.
They're going to have to pressure here. Snow, a minute 16 left on the clock, and they need 2 goals from the side of Valkyrie. Mazo to the backboard, looking for Mizu down in front. The touch. Oh, the crossbar. Crave going to get it back around. Shot to the backboard. Mazo out in front. He puts it wide. And Empire, 2 good chances, but time ticking away. It's their 4th man now. All they have to do is run it out. Back down in front, Plum. Shot backboard, Snope with a chance, looking for the double as Mizu holds onto it long enough to get that ball out.
Valkyrie, though, grabbed a couple of boost pads while they were in the Empire half. Maybe going to use that to establish possession, but not when Mazo's winning a challenge like that. Couldn't win the second one, though. So will not find a teammate in the midfield. Valkyrie just trying to pick apart the midfield line of Empire at the moment. Can't get anything really to go. That one's the first opportunity. Snope off the ceiling, but Mazo sticks with the play and finds the clearance. Great job by Empire, and that just might have booked their ticket to a 1-1 record.
And that has been the story of this game. Consistent challenges here in Game 6. Empire just stifling out any kind of offense that they could have made by getting it down the field with these early challenges. That second man in has been so quick all series long for Empire, and they get the dub here in Game 6.
Yes, they do. And chat, spam Crave if you think he's the MVP for this series, because I think I would give my MVP vote to the man who got the offense started on so many occasions. Game 6, it was Mizu that did a lot of work. 2 goals on 3 shots, 4 saves on the back line. But Crave did so much for this squad throughout this best of 7, and I am impressed. I am impressed with how Empire Esports dealt with Valkyrie.
Brave, a big part of it too. Like you had said, he was a very consistent rotational presence for Empire, and that's where a lot of those streaks came in from Empire, where you saw them getting 1.5 minutes of offensive time in the zone with consistent pressure, consistent boost. That was because Crave was rotating back around to those midfield boosts and waiting for Valkyrie Ray's touch. And he is such a good player about reading where the ball is going to be and getting it back into the zone. That allowed Mizu and Mazo to just kind of do their own thing on offense, and Empire taking the dub.
That they are moving to 1-1 now, dropping Valkyrie Ray to the same record, but that is huge for Empire. As they started out 0-1, 0-4 in games, will help with game differential, and I have a feeling that Synergy, Valkyrie Ray, and Empire are going to be in a tight race for that 3rd playoff spot, and that kind of victory really, really helps.
This Group D, man, it might just be like the group of death here because each one of these teams could come and slug it out every single week. Group C is that surprising one for me, too. That La Espadas versus Dracon series that I had cast was a very, very good one in and of itself. So that is another group for me personally that I'm going to watch. But Group D, definitely the one with some of these powerhouse teams in it.
Oh yeah, I'm watching all the groups. I don't care which one's the group of death. I'm watching every single one. I'm loving
They're all groups
what's going
of death,
on.
right?
Yeah, right. This is such a competitive league of 20 NA bubble teams, and Prestige Esports, incredible for helping the guys at MPL Gaming put this thing on, donating the prize pool, sponsoring this whole event, and of course competing in it as well. I'm excited to see what they do when they finally take the pitch this week. Dire Media Solutions, yes, producing the event, Prestige sponsoring it. Gil, what a series that was. 6 games, didn't quite go the distance. Empire and Crave just wouldn't let it, but that's all we've got for tonight.
I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys for joining us. Our wonderful producer in the background, Ignited, bringing you guys the action as well. And once again, thank you to Prestige and Melon Patch for putting this on. I am loving what I'm seeing through these early series already, and I can't wait for these series to go the distance towards those playoffs. So that is going to be it for us, guys. I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend for what little remains, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.